Hi guys, I'm finally making this video. So this is my burnout recovery video. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. A few weeks back, I received a message from a young woman who, she was talking about how one of my videos was relatable to her and her experiences. And we ended up chatting quite a while, and that conversation inspired me to go ahead and make this video because it made me realize that other people are going through the same thing I went through. More people are going through the same thing I'm going through right now, and if I can help at least one of them, then it's worth it. It's worth it to make this video. And now I am in a different place because I have talked about my burnout in the past, but I talked about it while I was experiencing it, and now I feel like I'm in a much healthier place to talk about it. And hopefully I can, illuminate the way for those who find themselves in this awful place that is burnout. I'm gonna be looking down because I don't memorize my notes at all. I write them down, I write the script, and then I forget about it. That's just how my brain works, or doesn't work. This is probably not going to be a one video. I'm going to cut this into two parts. Burnout is especially awful when you are a creative person, in my opinion. At least it's my impression, because most creative people feel this urge to create and to make things, and not being able to do that just kind of messes with you in a way that it kind of turns a world upside down, and like you can feel that something is deeply wrong. I kind of came up with the analogy of a bomb that it's about to explode, but it never does. It never explodes. So you just live in that anticipation because there's something trapped inside of you that is the things you want to create, the ideas, the urge to create, but you can't really do it. You don't have the energy to actually create those things, and then you just it's like that bomb about to explode but never really explodes. That's the analogy I came up with because that's kind of how I felt. So to talk about how I'm recovering from my burnout, we first need to talk about what burnout felt like to me. So here are the burnout symptoms. Alright, so this is the part that I'm gonna be looking at my notes the most, so bear with me, please. So some of the feelings, emotions, and sensations I had when I was going through my burnout were: number one, anxiety, of course. So anxiety is the first thing to show up when something isn't right? At least for me and for people who tend to have heightened anxiety. So I felt a huge tension in my throat. I talked about this in other videos. I felt heart palpitations. I had insomnia. I experienced like really overactive mind, like racing mind, and everything was very chaotic inside my head. And I also felt like an imposter all of the time. Like if I were a real artist, I wouldn't be feeling this way. I would just be able to create because that's what I do, right? So I felt paralyzed, and the more I thought that I had to make art, the less I was able to do anything. And so I was paralyzed because I knew I was going to be frustrated if I even try to make anything. And I felt constrained, I felt powerless. I felt debilitated. 2. Loss of passion. So with the anxiety came a huge loss of passion for the things that I used to love doing. And let me tell you, this was the worst part. This to me was the most aggravated bit, like the farthest away from healing, from my healthy state. So the loss of passion comes with you giving up your dreams, the things that you wanted. It comes with huge self-doubt feelings, like you're not enough or nothing you do is enough. It comes with depression. Can you imagine, instead of the thing you love doing your whole life that shaped your identity and experiences in this planet, suddenly there's a big hole in that place. Like a piece of you is missing. It's not there. Like a big chunk of you has been pulled out of your being, and all you can feel is its absence. It feels a lot like grieving, like losing someone you love. You lose a part of yourself you loved, and the absence of that is just overwhelming. 3. Identity crisis. If you lose your passion for something that shaped your identity, there's no way you won't find yourself in an identity crisis. If I'm not that thing anymore, then what am I? Who am I? What am I doing? It feels like being put in this world in an adult body, but you have the experience of a baby. You know that the world expects certain things from you, but you don't know who you are. You don't know what you like. You don't know what you're good at. You haven't developed your identity or any skills or anything that could help you deliver what the world expects from you. So you just feel absolutely lost. You lose your identity and suddenly you lose your way. You don't know how to navigate anything. You don't know where you're going, what path you should be taking. You're lost. You don't have any map anymore. The lack of identity and guidance on itself is bad. Just alone is bad. But then just think about it, losing the identity that you once had, it hits even harder because it feels like, I had it. I had things figured out. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew who I was. And now I don't have it anymore. It's like it's just slipped away. And feeling this lost made me very depressed. It made me feel empty. I thought, if I can't do anything, I have nothing to offer. 4. Giving up your dreams. If you can't find the passion that once lived inside you, you can't find any reason to pursue any dream related to that thing. So during my burnout period, I had absolutely no dreams related to art. None of my old dreams mattered to me. It was just stupid. It was silly looking through these new lenses and this new perspective, and I just knew in my bones that I wasn't capable of achieving any of those old dreams. So I started doubting myself in a way that I never did before. And make no mistake, I am a pro in self-doubt, and I felt wrong for being in this bizarre place, for experiencing all that I was experiencing. So I felt incapable. Is that a word? Incapable? I felt debilitated. I felt paralyzed again. And I was comparing myself a lot to other people, and that only made me feel shittier, of course. 5. Toxic idea of success. Comparing myself was literally fuel to this toxic idea of success that we have been fed our entire lives. So I saw other creators creating, and instead of feeling inspired, I felt worse. Instead of feeling happy for them, I became bitter. The competition mode kicked in, and I hated that. I hated how I was feeling, and hating myself for feeling that way only made everything worse. It made me hate everything even more. And I was stuck in that cycle of hate. I felt I wasn't talented. I felt I had nothing to say. I had nothing to share, nothing to add, nothing to contribute, and I felt useless. I felt old also. I felt like I don't have time for this. I'm over 30. I don't have time for this kind of crisis right now. This is a time where I should be, figuring things out once and for all and not starting all over. I'm too old for this shit. I felt like I was never going to be successful at anything. And I just kept feeding the idea of success that I don't even believe in. And so while I was scrolling through Instagram, comparing myself to every artist that showed up in my feed and feeling terrible about it and about myself, I was miserable. I was wasting the energy I didn't have. Just feeling sorry for myself, basically. 6. Autopilot. I felt like life was passing me by, like I had no control over anything, and I didn't have the energy to try and control things. I really didn't. I felt so drained. I felt like I was living every day on autopilot, and I was never fully inside my body. During all this burnout period, I never felt I was in control. Not once. And when I felt a little, tiny spark of inspiration, maybe, I don't know, that made me want to draw something, I wasn't able to maintain it. It would, slip away every time. And I felt completely at mercy of these random and rare visits of inspiration or whatever that was. And it would come and instantly begin to dissolve and fade away, and there was nothing I could do about it. There was nothing I could do to maintain that, to have some control over that. And when I was able to make some art, I felt like I wasn't able to create anything with intention, with a purpose, or with honesty. So I felt voiceless in my work. In the work I was able to produce, which wasn't much, but I felt voiceless in those rare moments of creation. These were the most intense symptoms I had, and as you can notice, they are interconnected. Like one doesn't exist without the other, and they're like a whole organism happening all at the same time. You don't know what to address first to make it better, because it's like a wave hitting you over and over, and you are submerged, and it's overwhelming and very, very exhausting. So this was part 1 of this video, the symptoms. In part 2, we're gonna talk about the recovery and the things that I did that helped me get from that horrible place to where I am right now. And we're also going to talk about prevention. In case you are feeling some of these symptoms, I hope it helped you to understand you're not alone. I hope, it gives you some hope that you can also feel better. You can also get better and recover from this nightmare. If you enjoy this video, you know what to do, all the YouTube stuff. Leave a comment in case you do recognize some of these symptoms in yourself, so we can, help each other out. Like it if you like it, share with friends, we'll do the things that YouTube tells you to do. You know what to do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on part 2 very soon. Bye bye.